Hello, Trevor Day School. Welcome to another World News Service brought your way by That's News to Me, one of Trevor's newest after-school clubs. Our club has been set up with the mission to summarize a full 10 days of current affairs and bring highlights your way once a cycle in a quick 5-minute news service. Today is Friday, January 17th, and here's the news summary of the previous week. Okay. Topic one, nation mourns the death of its 39th president, Jimmy Carter. On December 29th, 2024, former President Jimmy Carter passed away at the age of 100. Carter served from 1977 to 1981 as the 39th President of the United States. January 9th, 2025, the day of his funeral, was set as the National Mourning Day by President Joe Biden. President Carter's state funeral was truly a bipartisan affair attended by all former U.S. presidents alive, including Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush, who came together despite their divergent political viewpoints in celebration of the life of the late president. Along, along with all of the presidents, all of the first ladies and vice presidents were also in attendance. Jimmy Carter, born on October 1924 in Plains, Georgia, was a peanut farmer before entering politics. His modest upbringing shaped his commitment to public service. Carter served as a Georgia state senator and later as a governor, emphasizing racial equality and government efficiency. Between 1977 to 1981, Carter served as the 39th President of the United States, where he prioritized human rights, energy, policy, and environmental conservation. His most notable achievement was brokering the Camp David Accords, a historic peace agreement between Egypt and Israel in 1978. During his one presidential term, Carter faced significant challenges, including an energy crisis, where Carter stood for reducing U.S. dependence on foreign oil, high inflation, high inflation, unemployment, and a struggling economy during his term added to the public dissatisfaction. After leaving office, Carter founded the Carter Center, focusing on global health, democracy, and conflict resolution, earning a Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. All right. The next topic is the Los Angeles wildfires. Los Angeles, the city of Angeles has been razed to the ground by fires. On Tuesday, January 7th, 2025, wildfires started out in the mountains surrounding Los Angeles and spread quickly to the affluent neighborhoods of Aldenena and Eden Canyon, located on the hills of San Gabriel Mountains, and Pacific Palisades, located in the Santa Monica Mountains. These wildfires have been fatal, even killing as many as 24 innocent civilians. Across all of Los Angeles, about 200,000 families were under evacuation orders. On Tuesday, January 14th, Morning Pacific Palisades, which had destroyed about 5,000 structures and 23,000 acres of property since January 7th, was still burning with 14% containment, and the Eden Fire, which had destroyed about 7,000 structures and 14,000 acres of property, is at 33% containment. Just the home insurance claims against the destroyed properties amount to over $20 billion in losses, and total economic losses could total $50 billion. The cause of these deadly fires is unknown. However, investigators are considering whether the wind gusts in the days prior to the fire were just so strong that the electrical poles broke down and electrical sparks fell on drying autumn leaves, and dry wood in the forests. And an alarming lack of rainfall in Los Angeles from months of drought likely caused the trees and leaves to be so dry that they burnt instantly. Wind gusts from the Santa Ana winds blowing up from 70 to 100 miles per hour across the region exacerbated the fires quickly, with embers blowing over large distances to initiate new fires. Investigators are also examining if this is a deliberate act of terrorism. The Santa Ana winds were rising again on Wednesday, January 15th, and Thursday, January 16th, at the time of this reporting, and had started making its way inland into the famous neighborhoods like Brentwood and Calabasas. Governor Gavin Newsom of California declared a state of emergency with overnight curfew to prevent burglaries and break-ins to scavenge into the houses raised in the ground. Okay, and the next topic, topic three, on a little bit of some more lighter news, NFL wildcard weekend. What an opening to the NFL playoffs. Starting with the first playoff game of the season, the Texans, the 4 seed, versus the Chargers, the 5 seed. Story of this game was the Texans' defense. 4 interceptions for them. CJ Stroud, the Texans QB in his second year, only needed to throw one passing touchdown to edge the Texans to a blowout win of 32 to 12. The second game of Sunday was Ravens versus Steelers. The Ravens were able to win 28 to 14 as the Steelers were proven to be the inferior team. Ravens newcomer Derrick Henry recorded 2 touchdowns, and Lamar Jackson also recorded 2 touchdowns, exemplifying why some think Lamar deserves the most valuable player. Moving on to Sunday's games, the first game was Bills versus Broncos, as the Bills won in a landslide, 31 to 7. The second game of Sunday was Eagles versus Packers, where Jordan Love led the Eagles to a 22 to 10 win over the Packers. The Eagles will go on to play the Rams. The last game of the weekend took place on Saturday night between the Bucks, sorry, Monday night, Sunday night between the Bucks and the Commanders. Jane Daniels was just able to outlast Baker Mayfield 23 to 20 to advance the Commanders to the next round. Next up for the Commanders, the number 1 seeded Detroit Lions. And lastly, the last wild card game occurred between the Rams and the Vikings on Monday, and the Vikings crumbled under the pressure as they went on to lose 27 to 9. And wait a minute. And in breaking news, on the night of January 15th, Hamas and Israel seem to have reached a tentative ceasefire agreement to bring back the remaining Israeli hostages back home to Tel Aviv, and for Palestine prisoners of war in Israel to be returned to Gaza. The plan needs to be voted upon by the Israel cabinet on Friday, January 17th, and you will report on the story in our next cycle. And with that, and with that news and some ray of hope of the hostages and their families, we conclude today's newscast. Thank you for listening, and go Dragons.